It's been so long, you've been so tough, you've kept it up, you've kept me up, been standing tall, keeping strong, and I'm doing well, I'm eating more, and though you might think that you're fine, you need someone, and though you've been in your time, you need someone to love. And though you might think that you're fine, you need someone. And though you've been big in your time, you need someone to love.
That's me back from first the gym, and then we spent the morning in Green Roots Cafe, which was so nice, and we had brunch, and I finished my book. So I read The Midnight Library. It was the first book that I read in February, and I actually really enjoyed this book. I've got some issues with it, don't get me wrong, but I did really enjoy the overall story, so I just thought I'd come on since I've just finished it and let you know how it went. It's quite short, and a lot of the pages, like the chapters, are really short and use up half a page. I've actually got the hardback because I forgot to check on World of Books when I ordered it and accidentally ordered the hardback, which I do quite a lot. I really should check. You can see in specifications. I just get too happy and order too many books. So that's why it's hardback, but I just read it without the what do you call it? Without the dust cover on, to protect the dust cover, because it's quite a pretty one. Definitely, like, don't judge this book by the cover. I think The Midnight Library gives an idea of what book it will be, and then it's not that. It's more, I thought it would be quite like maybe The Starless Sea or something, which is one of my favourite books. I love that book so much. And it's not like that, but I did really enjoy it. So the book is about Nora, and it starts off with her at school and then jumps 19 years. And it starts off by saying 19 years before Nora tried to kill herself. So you know from the start that she's wanting to end her life. And then it kind of explains the... Sorry, that's Fletcher squeaking his toys. It explains the lead up to her attempted suicide, what went wrong that day and that week to kind of put her in such a dark place. Which I really liked how the story was written. I liked her perspective. She's a really, really likeable character, I think. And then it moves on, and she's in this midnight library, like in between alive and dead, and her school librarian, who we've already read about, is there, and she kind of gets to taste different lives. She can go into them, experience them, see what she thinks. If she likes them, she can stay in them. Is kind of the premise. So she tries out, like... That's really annoying, sorry. He's having a great time though. So she tries out all these different lives, and some of them she makes different decisions, and that can branch off, and the worlds can be completely different, and it can get a bit self-helpy, and it definitely like has been called a self-help book, and it's got a lot of too many elements of that for a lot of people. So caveat: if that's not what you want, don't read it. But it's a lot more enjoyable than a self-help book. I enjoyed reading it. So I think, like, it's not too heavy on that element. The thing that does that's really annoying is it over-explains things. It will explain something and you kind of think, oh wow, now she's learned a lesson, and your brain does it itself, it's all good, you're moving on. And then the book goes, and this means she's now learned, which is annoying, don't get me wrong. But I really liked the story. I liked being able to go into all of her different lives and see how life would have turned out and kind of relate that to some of the decisions I've made in my own life. It's a good story. Genuinely, it's a good story. And the ending nearly made me cry. So, like, I had to give it 4 stars because I don't cry very often at books. Just found it really emotional. And I don't want to spoil what happens at the end in case you want to read it. But the concept is really good. I think people were disappointed that my friend read it thinking that it was going to be all about the Midnight Library. It's not really about the library, it's about the different lives that she tries out. The library is just a metaphor. But in itself, it is a good book, possibly a different title. But everyone picked it up because of the title, didn't they? So it worked. Now I'm going to read If on a Winter's Night a Traveller, which Aidan also picked up because of the title. I'd heard about this book before, but Aidan found it in Waterstones at the start of January and bought it, and I was like, oh my god, I really want to read that. I haven't got it yet. So I'm reading it for him, even though it's his book. Sorry, my card ran out of storage. So If on a Winter's Night a Traveller is a multi-genre book. It switches between detective adventure, romance, satire, erotic story, diary and quest, according to the back of the book. And I'm just going to read you the first couple of lines because I'm so excited to read this. So it starts with, you're about to begin reading Italo Calvino's new novel, If on a Winter's Night a Traveller. Relax, concentrate, dispel every other thought, let the world around you fade. I'm really excited. But before I start reading this, I've got to do my next job, which is my book project. I said at the start of this year I was going to start taking more from the books I read so that I can note what I took from them and look back through it quite easily. So I'm going to create a Notion, because I've been taking notes but I've not got a good way of laying them all out. So I'm hoping to create a Notion database so that I can keep all of my books together with like notes underneath on every one, and hopefully that works. So I'm going to have a go at that now. So I finished my database. I've just added my latest book, and then here at the bottom on every one I've got some options so I can take away some stars from here. I've just got 5 going to come up automatically, and then a summary, quotes and thoughts there, which I'll just add in now. We've just had dinner. Aidan made creamy pasta for us, and I've just been doing some YouTube planning for the next few weeks of content, because I haven't really been pre-planning anything, so I'm trying to get a good schedule so that it's not so rushed, because I'm trying to post every Sunday just now. But now we're going to try making some chickpea cookies, which we've never tried before, but Aidan's been excited to make them all week, and we saw them on Instagram, so we're excited to see if they actually taste nice or if they taste like cooked hummus. Cookies are out of the oven. They were a bit of a failure. Our NutriBullet couldn't mix the dough, so we had to add milk because it was just burning out the motor. So then the dough was soft, and it does taste of chickpea. It's nice chickpea, but it's definitely chickpea-ish. They are like cookie-ish, but I don't know. We'll see what they're like tomorrow.
I think the key word is cookie-ish.
Cookie-ish. I'm about to go to bed, but beforehand, every day in February, I've been reading 5 pages of this huge book, which I can barely get in frame. It's the climate book by Greta Thunberg. You might have seen me picked it up in a charity shop at the start of the year, and it's quite a big undertaking. I didn't want to read it all at once because it was quite overwhelming, and I didn't think I'd be able to take it all in if I just sat and read it, so I decided to set a goal where I read 5 pages every night before bed or whenever I want to in the day. And it's going quite well. I'm in still like the kind of the introduction section now, a bit in the past and the history, and now I'm just getting into the science section, which I'm quite excited about. So yeah, that's all. I will update you on how this is going once I've read a few more pages. I've only read about 30 so far, but I hope you enjoyed today's vlog and see you next time.